Welcome back to Galaxy Mega Builds. In a rocky limestone quarry in eastern Lebanon sits the largest monolithic block ever shaped by human hands. It has rested here, half carved and entirely trapped in the bedrock for nearly 2,000 years. The mass of this single rectangular cut is difficult to process. At an estimated 1,650 tons, it weighs more than 3 fully loaded Boeing 747 aircraft. Look closely at the sides of the stone, and the forensic evidence of its creation is still perfectly preserved. These parallel grooves record thousands of hours of coordinated manual labor, etched directly into the grain of the rock. This quarry represents the exact geographical coordinates where the engineering reach of the Roman Empire finally exceeded its physical grasp. This is the Bekaa Valley. In the 1st century, the Romans established a colony here known as Heliopolis, using this landscape to project imperial authority across the region. Their plan was to construct the Temple of Jupiter Baal, the largest religious sanctuary in the empire, anchored by foundation stones of a scale no civilization had ever attempted. The surviving columns of the Jupiter Temple still dominate the skyline today, reaching over 65 feet high and proving the engineering mastery of these builders. Yet, as sophisticated as the nearby Temple of Bacchus and the surviving Jupiter columns appear, they represent only a fraction of the original plan. The builders were betting that they could scale their architecture indefinitely, requiring them to control physical forces that no human society had successfully managed before. The foundation of that confidence sits in the temple's podium. It is a sequence of 3 horizontally laid limestone blocks known as the Trilithon. Each of these stones weighs 800 tons, and they were successfully hoisted 22 feet into position. The limestone quarry was situated slightly higher than the temple complex. Instead of lifting 800 tons vertically, the Romans created a downhill path. Laborers managed the descent, braking against the immense momentum and checking the friction of the timber rollers. At 800 tons, this rolling transport system worked flawlessly. It was a functional, world record-setting success that validated their methods. That early victory proved to be a dangerous psychological trap. It convinced the Roman engineers that their transport logic could scale indefinitely, leading directly to the miscalculation that stalled the project. Flush with success, the builders pushed their designs further. They began work on the stone of the pregnant woman, estimated at 1,000 tons, and then the stone of the south, pushing past 1,200 tons. The ultimate escalation was the 3rd monolith, now known as the Forgotten Stone, carved with mathematical precision. It reached a staggering 1,650 tons, but its massive scale doomed it. This schematic demonstrates the breaking point of their physics. At 1,600 tons, the downward pressure of the stone simply exceeded the structural limits of the wood and the earth. The timber rollers didn't roll, they were instantly crushed flat. Once those rollers flattened out, the system's wheels turned into brakes. The very method that moved 800 tons effectively became a permanent anchor at double the weight. The project ultimately stalled against the hard material limits of wood and soil, rendering even the most precise masonry immobile. There must have been a specific day when the reality of the situation finally settled over the quarry. A moment when the engineers and the labor crews looked at the crushed timber and realized that no amount of human muscle would ever make this stone move. The physical evidence of this is still here, showing exactly where the work stopped. The base was never fully separated, leaving it permanently fused to the bedrock floor. The quiet of this site today is the lingering echo of an empire that expanded until it finally collided with a force it could not conquer, gravity itself. The mystery of Baalbek does not require invented stories about lost technologies or extraterrestrial builders. The reality of the Roman engineering mind is vastly more interesting. We have the physical proof of their tools, the surviving foundation blocks they actually moved, and the ongoing excavations uncovering the layers of their process. But that leaves one final question. If they knew exactly how to carve a 1,600-ton block of limestone, what was the machine they actually believed was going to move it? The answer is likely lost to history. The Forgotten Stone remains the world's heaviest marker of the exact point where human ambition finally broke against the laws of physics. Thank you for watching Galaxy Mega Builds.